Hi guys, MySQLi extension we are learning. So in that we have discussed about insert query. Insert query is used to insert data in database table. So what is syntax? Syntax is that you have to type insert lowercase or uppercase. You can use insert into, and here you have to mention your table name in which you want to insert data, and field name 2 3 up to n you can provide, and then you have to type values. In parentheses you have to provide value of this field. For example, this value will be stored in this field, this value will be stored in this field, and so up to value n will be stored in field n. So this is the basic syntax of insert query that will be covered practically in Visual Studio Code. So to run query in PHP using MySQLi extension, you know that we will use MySQLi underscore query function that take two argument. One is connection, another is a query variable. So when you run this function, query will be applied on database. So I open Visual Studio Code and learn how you can insert data into a table. In Visual Studio Code, creating a new file and save this file in a chapter. This is a chapter 3. Inside chapter 3, insert.php. This file totally based on insertion. Just copy and paste previous lecture source code, and then this is a connection necessary. This is necessary for all file, and then you know that we will work on student database. Inside student database we have a table that is a student underscore info, but we change that name to my underscore std. This is our table name, this is our database name. We will store our data in this table. This is our table column name or field name. In that column we will store our data using insert command. Using insert query we will insert some data. So what we have to do, we have to write here query. First of all, query variable user std insert equal to, and double quotation I will write here insert into table name is my underscore std, and then column name is you know that this is a column name std underscore id, std underscore id, std underscore name, std underscore, it will be father, city and marks. Father std, city std, marks std marks, and then std status status. So you can also use some column name. I mentioned all the column. Now after column name, what you have to do, you have to type values, and then in a parenthesis you can provide value for these column. For example, std id at first because its value should be stored in integer, you have to provide its value without double quotation. For example, id is 10, and then std name for example Faisal Zamir as student name, and in single quotation Zamir is the father name, std city is Dekhan, and marks so should be in integer, for example 90 marks, and std status should be, for example, fail. Faisal Zamir is fail. Now what we have to do, we have to run this query using MySQLi query. It take argument. One is connection, another is a std insert. This is a query variable. Now refresh this file. Sorry, this file. No, parent directory, there is chapter 3 insert.php. So there is no error. When I refresh this one, data should be insert. You can see that data is inserted. Now what we have to do again, I want to run this command but change some values. For example, id is 11 and father name is changed to Faisal, and then change city to Paharpur, and then 100 and its status should be pass. Now refresh this file and then refresh this localhost, and you will see that second record is also inserted. So in this way you can insert data, insert record in table. So you can also use some of them column. For example, I want to provide value for these 3 column. Just I have to remove up to here and change some modification. For example, id is 12 and student name is Joffrey and father name is Sim. Now refresh this file and refresh this localhost MySQL database. You will see that these values are inserted and null. So you know that when I create a table, I provide a null, not null. This column should not be null, and when I provide here not null, then it will generate error because you have to provide value. It become necessary to provide value. So when you mention not null, so this is the query, insert query. You can use insert query to provide data or insert data in a table. So in this way you can also mention here variable. For example, name is equal to Faisal Joffrey, and also for example id is equal to this is id. So I can also use variable name. Just change this into for example id, change this Joffrey to its variable. This is a student name. Now I want to run this command, refresh this one, saying that some error. For that reason, sorry, use a comma, single quotation, refresh, and then refresh this localhost. Now you will see that value are inserted. Now it means that you can also mention here variable. So user can insert data using form. For that reason you have to create a form. After creating form, user will insert data. That result should be stored in table. So that we will cover in next classes when we create CRUD system or CMS system. In that application creating time, you will learn how you can create a PHP form using HTML and PHP. After creating form, when user insert data, that data should be saved in our database. So you will learn how you can insert data when user submit a form. So this query will run in that time and in that situation. So in the next class we will learn about select query.